Welcome back, everybody. Ask the Collective 008. My name is Richard Brubaker. I'm the founder of Collective Responsibility. It's great to have you back. Hope you all had a great weekend. Beautiful blue sky spring day in Shanghai. And we have a fantastic question about how do you engage your executive leadership, your executive team on the issues of sustainability. It's a question that I talk about strategically and tactically, but I want to kind of forewarn you that a lot of this question in particular, it really depends upon the industry, the company, and what the goals are. So if after listening to this, you would like for me to address your company, your industry, or your specific function, please list your comment down below.
Aniket Kaushal asks, what would be the best way to get the buy-in of senior management on cross-functional sustainability projects?
All right, so Aniket, thank you very much for your question. This question largely depends upon the type of organization that you are trying to achieve or try to engage into. So if you're dealing with an entrepreneur, well, you better hope that it's in their soul and you better hope it's within the culture of the company, because without that, then it's gonna be really hard, because usually a small to medium-sized enterprise or one founded by an entrepreneur, it should be quite obvious and quite there for you to go ahead and kind of align yourself to it. But if we're talking about a large multinational company, there's kind of two big camps that I would look at. One is, if this is a B2B firm where you're not selling directly to the end consumer, and where consumer NIMBY actions won't necessarily impact to you, that's gonna be one circumstance or one different engagement process that you have to build. If you're on the consumer side, if you're a B2C or a C2C, then if you have consumers, you have regulators, you have the potential for NGOs to align your brand to the issue, then that's a different condition altogether as well. So let me just talk briefly at the strategic level, and then I'll talk a little bit of tactic. Strategically, what I find is the B2B firms that I have worked with, or that we have worked with over the years, they tend to look for issues that are directly in line with either their operations or from an HR perspective, what their people care about. They, of course, if they're in the manufacturing space, care about the community or the government stakeholders in the area as well, because a B2B tends to make millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars of investment into a single facility or into a cluster that needs to be there for 20, 30, 50 years. So the way they approach it is very differently. And what that means from an engagement standpoint is, if you can look into the guts of the company, the operations, or you're looking outside the four walls of the compound, and you can see an issue that the company should be aligned with, then what you need to do is bring that back in-house and make a business argument for why they should make an investment. This isn't to spend money for PR splash. This is how we would improve our operations. This is how we would increase retention. This is how we would set ourselves above the competition when we're selling to our clients. The second thing strategically I think that B2Bs need to do, or need to do better with, is instead of just saying like, we're a sustainable company and here's 3 reasons, is actually look at the companies that they're selling to, the Bs, and ask them, how can we make you more sustainable, so that when you're selling to the Cs, the consumers, the end consumers, how can we help you improve your business model? And we're seeing this now more and more with, say, our chemical clients. They're understanding how they can make an automotive company or an airline company or a computer equipment company through a formulation of their products, not just be more sustainable, use less water, less carbon, less something, but how can they make the performance of this product or this service also be improved at a higher rate of sustainability. They don't necessarily get credit for that in the public, but their customers, the computer company, the automobile company, the airline parts company, they will certainly within that industry see that they can see that as a benefit, and that might bring in future sales. If you're B2C, things are very different. You're playing almost exclusively to the market, what the market wants. So if you think B2B, GE, Bosch, big industrial companies, they're making investments for the long term. But then B2C would be, say, Coca-Cola or Apple. They have to play to the market. So what the market's coming to them with different demands about performance or quality or pricing, they certainly feel it differently. And I'm not going to say that it's easier to be B2B or you're worse if you're in a B2C position, but it's very different strategically how you have to then couch that issue. Because While a B2B may need something that's very operational or aligns internally, for a B2C, they may have to really consider a much bigger megatrend that an external stakeholder like a customer or a government agency or an NGO might consider important, but maybe indirect to that brand. And so strategically, they also have to also bring that into house. And so that's an opportunity for you. In all these cases, I think you have to basically figure out how a company makes money or saves money. Now, making money, that's selling more product and more profitably. At the save money side, I think this is also where human resources becomes a very interesting equation. Can you show that by doing this program, having this strategy, that you increase your attractiveness in the market for hiring new graduates? Do you see a reduced turnover rate, therefore a savings in HR cost? Can you show that through your sustainable mission, your sustainable culture, that people are more inspired, they're more productive, and you're becoming more innovative from that? These are all questions that you should look to answer. And if there's no clear answer, it's okay, because a lot of these things are unclear. But you have to start figuring out how would you measure it so that you could then present it to the executive leadership. So I really hope at the general level, strategically, that kind of answers your question. Tactically, I think that this is where, if you're a global firm, you need to understand the local conditions. A lot of firms have their 3 pillars, 5 core values, 7 2x2s that they work with. But at the end of the day, what are the issues that matter most at the local level? If it's air quality, or it's water purification, or it's the cost of education, or the automation of jobs, I think tactically the best thing to do is then go out into the company or into the community, ask a few questions about what's important to them, what are they worried about, and then find a way to align that concern, that issue, that challenge with an opportunity for the firm. Of course, you can take a risk approach to say, if we don't do this, we'll be in trouble and we'll have to pay a fine, we may be shut down, we may be moved. But I really find that when you're engaging executives, beyond the compliance and the legal speak of this could happen, I really like to find ways to inspire individuals. And for me, that's where I hope that you'll focus it as well. Is if you see that water is an issue, that you can somehow create a product, create a service, create a program within your firm that is inspirational to the people inside the firm around water, so that they can feel like they're part of the solution, not just kind of checking a box. And I think that that's also really important, because if the leaders of the firm can see that their ground troops are excited about this, they're going to support it. It's the reverse that they hate. They hate it when they come up with the idea, they say they'll fund it, and then nobody cares. That's the worst thing. So just try and find ways to inspire people instead of just saying, we have to do this, otherwise fine, closure, move, whatever it may be. So thank you very much for your question. I really hope that answers it. And if not, if you have a specific industry you'd like for me to talk through, I'm more than happy to, because again, it's very industry specific and it's also functional specific. So if you want me to focus down, more than happy to. Just follow up with us in the questions below, or send us an email, which we have listed below as well. Thank you very much, and have a great week.